Okay, so I think we need to start. Yeah, so welcome to the University of Ghana and welcome to our course. I hope that by now you've gone to Sakai and gone through your course syllabus. But in any case, I think it is good to check it once again and deliberate on some of the content. So I'm Dr. Emmanuel Ani. I'm your lecturer for this course, and this is critical thinking and practical reasoning. Now, this course is one of those courses that has been designed to introduce you to university life because it happens to be a course that would refine your methods of reasoning and problem solving, as well as your methods for making arguments and for clarifying issues. Now, from the overview, critical thinking is the careful and deliberate determination of whether we should accept, reject, or suspend judgment about a claim, or the degree of confidence with which to accept and reject it. So really, this course is about claims, making claims, providing justifications for claims, uh, why we should accept claims, reasons to accept and reject claims, and so on. It's also designed to equip you with methods and principles for distinguishing between good and bad reasoning. So really, there's such a thing as good or bad reasoning. And as a matter of fact, the course, at least for this semester, teaches you two basic categories of reasoning. You have deductive and inductive reasoning. Now, at the end of this course, we are hoping that we will gain a couple of things. First of all, in the area of knowledge, we are hoping that students would learn to distinguish types of arguments and how best to make them. And also, we are hoping that we would be able to know the difference between inductive reasoning, which is designed for probable truths, and then deductive reasoning. We would want to know the value and significance of each kind of reasoning, why it is necessary to examine our own thought, and how to categorize sentences that express them. We're also going to see the difference between empirical and normative judgments. Now, empirical judgments are judgments about the external world. You know, empirical issues have to do with the external world. They have to do with facts. But normative issues have to do with what we should be doing and what we shouldn't be doing. So, normative, the area of the normative is about what we ought to do, what we ought not to do. So, whilst the empirical refers to what is and what is not, the normative refers to what we ought to do and what we ought not to do. And then one of the critical instruments in this course also is to learn about definitions, um, to familiarize ourselves with the business of accurate meaning. Now, just like I said, this course teaches us how to reason. Now, in order to reason well, you need to be very clear and accurate about the concepts you are reasoning about. You need to have you need to have an accurate grasp of the meaning of the concepts you are working with. If you don't have an accurate grasp of the meaning of your concepts, then it means that everything you are discussing about that concept is not really getting home. So having accurate meanings of concepts is very important. And we get accurate in our meanings by providing accurate definitions of concepts and ideas and phenomena. That is why definitions play a very important role in critical thinking. And then we would also study different kinds of discourse, such as argument, instruction, rhetoric, and narrative. We would also look at fallacies. Fallacies are instances of bad reasoning. Now, so basically, what we'll be doing in this course is to study good reasoning and then we'll study bad reasoning. You wouldn't appreciate good reasoning unless you contrasted them with their bad counterparts. So that is why we'll be studying fallacies. And we have both formal and informal fallacies. Now, we are targeting certain skills in this course. Number one, we expect students to be able to identify and critically analyze sentences that claim some truth or point out those that are incapable of being true or false. We would also want to be able to identify when the principles of logic or may not be used on a type of language. And then we would also want to be able to identify and construct arguments. And then we would also want to be able to apply the appropriate philosophical techniques for assessing the strengths and weaknesses of arguments. So you can go through this, you can spend the rest of your time going through this, but let's, begin the business of the day. Now, before we go to the slides, do we have a course rep for this group? Do we have a course rep? Have you guys selected a course rep?
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
No, sir.
No,
Okay,
sir.
so
No, sir. No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir. No, sir.
Um,
okay, so
no,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
So
No,
we don't
sir.
have any course rep.
No, sir.
okay, so
We don't have.
if you are volunteering,
Sorry, don't
One
get
person
me.
should go.
okay, so if you are volunteering to be a course rep, you can just raise your hand and I'll see you immediately. If you are volunteering to be a course rep, you raise your hand with just two hands. That's all. You have Ernest and then Evans. So we have four hands. We'll just take the first two. This is volunteer service, so so we just need the first two hands that went up. Ernest, where is Ernest? Ernest,
Prof,
raise your.
I'm here.
Yeah, so Ernest.
Prof, I'm here.
Yeah, Ernest, so you are the course rep, and then Gloria. Gloria is assisting you. Gloria
Okay.
Abenamanu.
Okay.
Yes, please, sir. Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so
Okay, sir.
Ernest and Gloria, course rep and assistant. You guys are going to be working hand in hand with your TA, your coordinator. That's
Okay.
Selma. You're going to work with
Yeah,
Selma.
Okay.
All right. So
okay, sir.
that's important. Moving on. I haven't gotten the course rep. Would be needing you at several critical points in the semester. Now we go back to our course slides and we quickly see what we have today. Now today we're looking at speech acts. Speech acts. Before we start looking at this topic, I would like to make some general comments. Now, like I said, this is a course that teaches us how to reason critically. Now, whenever you are reasoning, when you are thinking, when you whatever is going on in your head, there's a likelihood that it is going on in language. When you are talking to yourself, when you are, reflecting about something, when you are asking yourself questions, you are likely using language. So whether you are, just thinking or you are also talking with someone, most of those activities, are taking place in language. Some of it might take place graphically, but, you need linguistic tools to get it done. You know, so when we reason, we reason in language. If we reason in language, it means that you need to look at the language that you are reasoning with, to be sure that the language tools you are using are appropriate and that they are helpful. So you will see that the first half of the semester is designed to teach you some aspects of language, those aspects that will be needing the most. So um, it is like it's not really like your English language classes. This one we are just looking at those aspects of language that are important to critical thinking. You know, and we begin with speech acts. Now, what are speech acts? Now, a speech act is an utterance that performs a certain function in language and communication. We perform speech acts when we ask questions, make a request, when we assert a proposition, when we
Who?
make judgments, when we express emotions, and so on. So all these things are speech acts. A speech act may be one word. It could be a complete sentence. It could be an incomplete sentence. So the summary is that a speech act is basically, anything that comes out of your mouth, any sound that you make. The question is, what kind of sound is it? What function does it do? And so when you talk about functionality, the functionality of the sounds we make, then we begin to divide speech acts into different categories. We have questions, which we call interrogatives. We have propositions, which we call,
Programming.
okay, so when we make a sound, it's called a speech act. When we want to start talking about the types of speech acts, then we are talking about the function that the sounds we make are performing. So since we make sounds for different purposes, then we're talking about different kinds of speech acts. You know, when we ask questions, when we make a request, when we make a proposition, when we make a judgment, when we express our emotions, these are all speech acts. So we're going to be looking at them one by one. So types of speech acts. First, we'll begin with interrogative sentence. Now, interrogative sentences are what we normally call questions. They end in a question mark. Now, the purpose of interrogative sentences is to solicit or require information from someone. So, interrogative sentences are spoken to solicit or require information. When you want someone to give you an information, you ask a question. Questions are designed to solicit information. You ask a question because you need an answer. The answer you are seeking is some kind of information. So the purpose of interrogative sentences is to solicit or require information from someone. Interrogative sentences cannot be true or false. Now, so when you ask a question, you have not said something that can be true or false. Examples. Do you have the keys to the door? How are you doing this morning? What's your name? Now these are questions which we call speech acts. Then we have the imperative sentences or the imperatives. Imperatives are sentences spoken to require someone to do something or undertake certain actions. So when you want someone to do something, then whatever you tell him because you want him to do something is an imperative. So they include commands, instructions, directives, requests, and pleas. Now, so Look at the types. You have commands, you have instructions, you have directives, you have requests, you have. So what it means is that we have the what we call the hard and the soft imperatives. We have imperatives that sound hard, and then we have the ones that are provided softly. So the hard imperatives are the commands, the directives. A command is used to offer authoritative or dictatorial order for something to be done. And then an instruction is a direction or order used to guide someone to do something. A directive is an authoritative order used to establish a policy, assign responsibilities, define a set of objectives, and delegate authority to someone to do something. A request is an act of asking politely or formally for something to be done. A plea is a supplication for certain action or decision to be taken. So you can see that all these kinds of imperatives are, different regarding the tone in which they are delivered. So examples of imperatives, clear this desk by tomorrow morning. Please water the plant, drive to the junction and turn right. The first one sounds like a command. The second one sounds like, an instruction. The second one actually sounds like a plea. The third one sounds like an instruction. And the fourth one is also an instruction. Fifth is an instruction, you know. So you have commands, instructions, pleas, requests, and so on. So these are imperatives. They are spoken to get people to get something done. Then you have the declaratives. Now, declaratives are sentences that convey information. Sentences that convey information are declaratives. Now, so this is different from the first two things we've seen. We say that interrogatives are spoken to solicit information, to get someone to provide information. And then imperatives are spoken to get people to do something. But declaratives are spoken to convey information, to provide information to someone or to people. So these are the functional differences between these three types of speech acts. So declaratives provide information or they convey information. They can therefore be true or false. Information is capable of being true or false. So if you are providing information, it means the information you've provided can be rated as true, it can be rated as false. But that does not apply when you are asking a question, when you are making an interrogative, or when you are given an instruction, when you are making an imperative. So when something is true or false, we say that thing has truth value, when something is true or false, or when something is capable of being true or false. In logic or in critical thinking, declarative sentences are also called propositions. They include the following: factual statements, value judgments, definitions, and arguments. So, declarative sentences, we're going to look at three kinds of declarative sentences here. We'll look at factual statements, we'll look at value judgments, and then we'll look at definitions. And then next week, we focus on definitions. Or rather, for our next class, we'll focus on definitions. What are factual statements? A factual statement or a statement of fact is an expression that conveys information about the state of affairs in the external world. So a factual statement is a statement that says something about things or facts in the external world. That's a factual statement. So if it is true, if it conveys accurate information about facts, and false if the factual information is inaccurate. You know. So look at the examples. Examples of factual statements. Statements about the external world. Grass is green, snow is white. That man is the current provost of the College of Arts and Culture. So these are factual statements. If you say that grass is green is not true, then you have to provide alternative facts to show that grass is not green. If you say that snow is not white, you have to provide alternative facts to show that snow is not white. If you say that that man is not the current provost of the College of Arts and Culture, then you have to provide the evidence that he's not the current provost. So factual statements can only be disproved by providing alternative facts. Providing alternative facts or showing that the facts presented are not true. Then we have definitions. Definitions are sentences spoken to convey information about the meaning of a word. So definitions are about providing meaning. Now, we had said that factual statements provide information about facts. Now we are saying that definitions provide information about the meaning of words or the meaning of things, the meaning of phenomena. Now look at examples of definitions. A lion is a large carnivorous feline mammal of Africa and northwest India, having a short tawny tail, a short tawny coat, a tufted tail, and in the male, a heavy mane around the neck and shoulders. So this is an example of a definition. Another example, a bed is a piece of furniture upon which we rest or sleep. So definitions provide information about the meaning of a word. So you can see that they are in contrast with factual statements. Then we have value judgment. Now, a value judgment or statement is a claim about something's moral, practical, or aesthetic value or suitability. So you can see that this is different from a factual statement. Now, a factual statement is about facts in the external world, but a value statement is about what? A value statement is about something's moral, practical, or aesthetic value or suitability. Value judgments do not describe the world like factual statements do. Rather, value judgments prescribe certain attitudes and behaviors towards the world. So, value judgments are concerned with prescribing how the world ought to be rather than describing how the world actually is. So value judgments are not concerned with describing the world as it is. Value judgments are rather describing how the world is supposed to be, or how the world ought to be, or how the world should be or should not be. So that is why we call them value judgments or value statements. They are about values, not facts. When you're talking about values rather than facts, then you are talking about, things we prefer or things we love or things we accept as the ideal and all those things. All those things are values. So the basic distinction is between value and fact. Okay, so you can see that value judgments are actually normative statements. I had said earlier on that anything that is empirical is concerned with the external world, with facts, with things out there, But anything that's normative is concerned with standards or right and wrong, things that are supposed to be, how we ought to do things, how things are supposed to be, how things ought to be. Okay, so example. You can see the 4 examples there. That is right, that is wrong, Michael is a good man. Jezebel has no conscience. And so, what is common among these four examples? They are all talking about value. The first two are talking about right and wrong. What is right? What is wrong? And then the second two are talking about moral qualities. Yeah. Okay. How many? How many class? Okay, so these are examples of value statements, and you can see that they are talking about what people accept, what people don't accept, what people see as the ideal, and what people see as a disobedience of the ideal. So all of them are described as values. This is right, this is wrong. Michael is a good man, Jezebel has no conscience, and all that. Now let's look at two types of value judgments. There are two types of value judgments. You have the moral and the non-moral value judgments. So the moral and the non-moral. Now the moral value judgments are claims about something's moral, suitability or otherwise. Examples, you have abortion is evil, don't commit adultery, don't insult your spouse. These are moral value judgments. Then the non-moral value judgments are claims about something's practical or aesthetic suitability or value. Now, when you're talking about non-moral value judgments, you are talking about those things that we value, but they are not really moral, you know. So when you step outside of moral issues, we still have values. We have values like utility. When something is reliable, when we say something is durable or something is reliable, something is strong, something those things are non-moral values. They are utility values. And then when you say that something is beautiful, something is good looking, something is not good looking, those are aesthetic values. They are non-moral values, but their values are all the same. So examples, when you say that Ofori is an excellent student, that's not really a moral thing, but it's something that is valuable. When you say that shirt is too tight on you, uh, that's a value. You are talking about the value of something fitting you. You are indirectly saying that your clothing is better off fitting you than not fitting you. That kind of thing. That's a sort of value. Or when you say that car is beautiful, in that case, you are talking about an aesthetic value. So basically, you have in the realm of non-moral values, you have utility values, and then you have aesthetic values. Then we have the emotive expressions. Emotive expressions are sentences that express emotional feelings. Let me pause to mute everyone. I think someone's microphone was on. Okay. So emotive expressions are sentences that express that show strong feeling, or you know sentences that express feelings. Some of those that show strong feelings may often end in exclamation mark, but it's not always the case for all emotive expressions. So examples of emotive expressions include I love that guy, I hate how she dresses, I hope you win the tournament, or even hallelujah. These are emotive expressions. When you look at these expressions, you see that they don't have truth value. You can't say you are agreeing or disagreeing with these expressions. They are just expressions of someone's feeling, you know. Okay. So when someone says I love that guy, you can't say no, I disagree with that. The person is just telling you her feelings. when someone says,
Okay.
when someone says, we hope you are going to
Okay.
win. When someone says, we hope you are going to win the tournament, you don't disagree, you don't agree or disagree with that. The person is just telling you how he feels. Or when someone says hallelujah, you don't say it is true or false. It's just, the person is just expressing a feeling. That's why we call them emotive expressions. They don't have the kind of truth value or true or false value that arguments and other declaratives have. Then you have sentence fragments. Sentence fragments are incomplete sentences. They are lacking either noun or verb. Yeah, someone is raising his hand. Winfred. Yeah, Winfred, you raised your hand. Okay, so the hand is down. So we were talking about what? Sentence fragments. Sentence fragments are incomplete sentences lacking either noun or verb. Sometimes sentence fragments act as signposts. Yeah, please mute yourselves. Okay, so I've muted everyone, and please remain muted. So we're saying that sentence fragments are incomplete sentences, lacking either noun or verb. Sometimes sentence fragments act as signposts to show direction or to advertise a product. So examples of sentence fragments include what? Desmond for Parliament. When you look at Desmond for Parliament, what is it lacking? I think it's lacking a verb. And then you see the second example, yam with sauce. And so it's either the sentence is lacking a noun or it's lacking a verb. That's why it's incomplete. We call it a sentence fragment. Okay, so with sentence fragment, we are done. Let's do some brief exercises. So these are the different speech acts we are going to be working with in this semester's training on reasoning processes. Now, for a little exercise, rewrite the following emotive expressions as value judgments. So convert these emotive expressions into value judgments. Now, the emotive expression, what a beautiful lady, convert it into a value judgment. Someone should convert this, what is a beautiful lady, into a value judgment. Elizabeth, please, can you?
Okay. The lady is beautiful.
The lady is beautiful, yeah, fine. That's a value judgment. Then the second one, convert to value judgment. The next person, let me see. Obed, Edu Obed. So, how kind he is. Value judgment.
He is not kind.
Now, when you are converting, you make sure you don't add anything that is foreign to the sentence. So, if you are converting, you have to make sure, just make the changes that are necessary for the conversion, but don't make any further changes. So how kind it is. To read as a value judgment, it will read how he is what?
Kind.
He is kind. So you just remove the how and
Okay.
and then you take the kind to the end of the sentence.
Okay. Okay.
Remove the exclamation mark. That's all. But if you make any other changes there, it's not really. You just do only what is necessary to answer the question.
So, sir, please, can't you send it to the negative?
No, that is not necessary. It was not requested.
Okay, thank you, sir.
And then the next one, what an extremely delightful journey. What an extremely delightful journey. Convert it. What
Sir, please, can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So this journey is extremely delightful.
This journey is
It's
extremely
extremely
delightful.
delightful.
Yeah, fine. So you just eliminate the what, or you replace the what and with this, and then is. So once those changes have been made, you forget about further changes. As long as the changes you have done are enough to do the conversion, then that's all, so that you don't get into trouble with your examiners. So that's it. So rewrite the imperative sentences below as interrogative. So convert from imperative to interrogative. The first one is shut your mouth up. Shut your mouth up is an imperative. Convert it to an interrogative. Someone raise his hand. Go ahead.
Hello, sir. Sir, please, can I ask a question?
Okay, what is it?
Sir, please, you said that when you are converting it from emotive expression to value judgment, you are not supposed to add anything to it. But say, for example, the expression, what a beautiful lady. When the lady was answering, she said that the lady is beautiful. She added the, and she added it, or said that one too, you're not supposed to add that.
Yeah, what I said, you are not supposed to add anything that is unnecessary. You only make the changes that are necessary to do the conversion.
Okay.
Make
Thank you.
only the changes that are necessary to do the conversion. So when you are doing the conversion, you don't change into a different, you don't change the sentence to convey a different information or to say, make a different argument. If the sentence is supposed to be affirmative upon conversion, you don't make it negative upon conversion. So if it is supposed to be an affirmative statement upon conversion, then let it be affirmative. If there is, so when you are doing a conversion, you just select only the words that need to be changed. Change them, remove what is necessary, only what is necessary to do the conversion, and then add only what is necessary to do the conversion.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
And please, the first one, what a beautiful lady. Can you say a very beautiful lady?
Very. Why would you add very? The question is whether the word very is necessary to do the conversion. So if it is not necessary, then you don't need to add it. You just say the lady is beautiful.
So please, can you use she is a beautiful lady? Or it's not right?
Yeah, you can say
She is a beautiful.
what a beautiful lady. What a beautiful lady is supposed to be. The lady is beautiful.
Hello, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Sir. Hello, sir.
Yes, I'm hearing you. Go ahead.
Sir, can you say that's a beautiful lady?
What a beautiful lady. That's a beautiful lady. The lady is beautiful. You can say that as well. That is a lady. That's a beautiful lady. The lady is beautiful.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right. And then rewrite the imperative sentences as interrogatives. So the imperative, shut your mouth up, make it an interrogative.
Yeah, hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so shut your mouth up. Converting it into interrogative sentence, it will be, would you shut your mouth up?
Yes, will you shut your mouth up?
Serious. Then please, can you shut your mouth up?
Can you shut your mouth up? Well, okay, fine. It's also acceptable.
Did you shut your mouth up?
Did you shut your mouth up? Okay, fine. That's
Sir,
fine.
please, can you use kindly shut your mouth up? Can you add that word, kindly?
No, that then it is not an imperative. It will still be it is not an interrogative.
Yeah, hello, sir.
It will still be an imperative.
Oh, okay.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
But if you say, did you shut your mouth up, it's changing the question itself.
Did you shut your mouth up?
So it doesn't even.
Shut your mouth
It's
up.
changing the whole
It should be
context.
will you?
Yeah,
Will you shut
it's
them?
changing the whole thing. So someone said that.
Yes,
And you were like,
you are
why?
right. Yes, I agree with you. It changes the import of the interrogative. It changes it. So it should stay true to the message that it should be reflecting as an interrogative. So
I'm confused.
will you shut your mouth up? That's the best interrogative aspect of an imperative. You know, it's supposed to be an imperative, not a factual statement. If you were converting it from a factual sentence to an interrogative, then you can say did you. You know, you can say did you, but in this case, it's from an imperative to an interrogative. So it should, I think, will you is better. Or rather, will you is the right thing.
Sir, can you say can?
It's not, well, it's fine, but it's not necessary. Will you is strictly what is correct.
What of won't
Would you? No. Would you is not would you, well, would you is fine. Could you shut your mouth up?
won't you shut your mouth up?
So just use the simplest version, you know. And that also applies to the second question. Speak loudly.
Say,
Yes.
Would you speak loud?
please, can you speak loudly?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Can you,
Right.
will you speak loudly?
What about please speak loudly?
Please speak loudly is an imperative. You have not converted it.
Yeah.
And then the third one, get up quickly and read your books.
Will you quickly get up and read your book?
Quickly get up and read your books.
Will you get up quickly and read your books? Yeah, that's fine.
Can you get up quickly and read your book?
All right, so those are fine details. Now let's go to the last, the last batch of questions. Rewrite the following interrogative sentences as statements of fact. So convert from interrogative to factual. Yeah,
Amma is playing football.
yeah, Amma is playing football. And the second one, he has finished his homework.
Yeah.
The match is coming.
The match is coming off today.
The match is coming
The
up.
match is coming up today.
The match is coming up today.
Okay, so that's fine. That's okay.
The match is coming up today.
Yeah, so I had to mute everyone. So that summarizes our work today. So we are done with the speech acts we wanted to do today. By next week, we are going to be, or in our next class, we're going to be focusing on definitions. Our next class will be coming up by Monday. Yeah, we will hold our next class by Monday. So I'll communicate the time to you. If you're not able to make it, I'll upload the video and you'll watch it. You know. So does anyone have any question for this class, the speech act?
Say. Hello, say.
Yeah.
I'd like to know if the value judgment as a fact, value statement is the same as fact statement.
Your voice, you need to raise up the volume of your microphone.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Hello, sir.
Go to
Please,
your
I would like
device
to
and
know.
raise the volume.
Please, is it okay now?
Yeah, it's fine. So go and repeat. You have to repeat your question.
Yes, please. I was asking if value statement is the same as the fact statement.
No, it can't be the same. We're describing them as different. We said that the factual statements are statements about facts in the external world. Facts, you know what facts are. And then value statements are statements about the kind of things we cherish or accept, or the kind of things we idolize, or the kind of things we reject. Statements about our preferences, our beliefs or systems, those are
Sir,
value statements.
sir, please,
Hello,
can you
sir.
say that the fact statements are what is meant to be, but with the value judgments is something that is ought to be. So even if it is not, it should be done that way. Is it like that?
Yeah, the factual statements are about what is or what is
Okay.
not. And then
Okay.
the value statements are about what ought to be and what ought not to be.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Even if it's not ought to be.
Yeah, hello, sir.
Hello,
Yes.
sir. Sir, please, I
Yes.
want to know if the slides can be uploaded on Sakai for us to later go through.
Yeah, remember that the videos contain the slides as well. So you will see all of them there.
Okay, sir.
You will see the slides in the videos.
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir.
Hello. Hello,
Hello,
sir.
sir.
Yeah.
Please, I wanted to know whether the interrogative sentences are they always supposed to be in the form of question?
Yes, they are supposed to be in the form of questions. They have to end with a question mark.
Sorry, I could tell you why.
Hello, sir.
And then, yeah,
Yes, sir. Please, is it safe to assume that every moral value judgment is kind of a belief, like it's some kind of a belief that people have?
well, yeah, you can say it is, you can call it belief in what is right and what is wrong, because value statements are about the normative.
Say,
The safest way to describe value statements is to say that they are statements about the normative. When you describe them as normative statements, then you don't need to describe them further.
hello, say.
Yes?
Sir, please have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, please, does value judgment and factual statements fall under declarative sentence? Do they fall under?
Yes, value statements, factual statements, they are declarative.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, please, I would like you to. Sir,
Yeah, so Dankwa and Gabriel, you have to mute your mics. So I'm muting it for you already. And then Mabel can ask your question and then we would listen to Zachary. So Mabel.
okay, sir, please, I would like you to say something, explain what speech art is. I came late, so I couldn't.
What do you want me to explain?
Speech art.
No, speech act is the title of the entire class. Speech acts, what you've been hearing are various types of speech acts. You have questions which we call interrogatives. In this course, we describe questions as interrogatives. And then apart from questions, we discussed imperatives. That is, when you say something because you want somebody to get something done, then you are making an imperative. We looked at them. Then we also looked at declaratives. Declaratives are when you are saying something because you want to provide information to the listener. So you have to go.
Okay, so I thought you explained speech art.
Yeah, so these are all types of speech acts. We've been discussing speech acts from the beginning of the class.
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, so you need to watch the video. Then
Hello, sir.
Zachary.
Okay.
Yeah,
Please,
Zachary.
since we have only
Sir, please, I wanted to know how many times in a week we have meetings.
Twice.
Exactly.
Okay,
But we
sir.
have only Fridays, no the other days.
Yeah, twice. We have Fridays, but the other day, if you can't make it, then you just watch the video.
So
All right.
when is that day?
It's supposed to be Monday, but if I don't make it on Monday, I'll make it on Tuesday. Now, whether it is Monday or Tuesday, attending it is not a hard and fast rule. You know, if you are not able to make it, you just watch the
So
video.
please, what time?
It will be in the afternoon, but let me see, it will be sometime by 2 or 3 p.m.
All right.
So please, Zoom or face to face?
Where can we get a video?
It will be Zoom. You will get it.
Sakai, the videos on Sakai.
You'll get it on your course site on Sakai.
All right,
Thank
sir.
you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, sir. Have a nice day.
You too.
Sir, please, where can we get a video? The video.
Okay, so please,
Helena.
no, I'm having a class.
Hello, sir.
So please, I'm having a class, so can I go?
Yeah, you can go.
You
Totally done.
Hello.
Sir, thank you very much.
Have a nice day, sir. Have a nice day.
They have a nice day.
Have a nice day, sir.
Sir, please, how do we contact you?
All right.
Say,
Bye-bye.
have a nice day.